Nation Now Network for All, in short CNN4All, Urbana, Illinois, USA.
And Bethel House of Refuge, Muhammad, Illinois, USA presents this week's breaking news in wellness and health for all people and all professionals. Hi, I am the Pete of Dr. Z, and Pete, presently I am the president of Bethel House of Refuge in Muhammad, Illinois. Previous to that, I was the executive director of a prison ministry in this area. Previous to that, a owner-operator of a commercial construction company in this area. My wife and I live in Farmer City. My wife, Stephanie, is a travel specialist at the Electronic Computer Engineering Lab at the University of Illinois, UIC. So we're glad to be here with you today. I've got my good friend, Dr. Alex Rama-Zachariah. Doc is also an MD and a medical professor, as I mentioned, and he is the CEO of CNN4All International. Recently, Doc was the Chief Medical Officer, the medical director at Provena, now President's United Samaritan Medical Center in Danville, Illinois. He was in that position 2008, 2009. Prior to that, he was the dean of one of the top 12 out of 300 medical schools in India. He was Christian Medical College, Ludhiana, India. Doc, with his wife Prema, also a retired physician and a medical professor, spent 43 years. 40, that's a long time at Christian Medical College in Ludhiana, first as medical students, then as faculty, until they retired in 2000. They now live in Urbana, Illinois, where they've been since 2005. Doc, with your outstanding resume and your medical experience, I need you to tell the folks what we're all about here at Breaking News.
Thank you for watching us. Please note that this is not medical advice. This is for your information only. Do not change your treatment based on this info. You may mention this to your physician, and you may even ask him to watch this.
That's right.
Him or her.
Yeah, please mention it to your physician. If you would like to communicate with us, you can by email, breakingnews@CNN4All.com. So we're going to jump right in, Doc, and we're going to talk about happiness. Guess what? Happiness lowers blood pressure. The endogenous hormone dopamine triggers a feeling of happiness, and while its release is induced, among other things, by the feel-good classics of sex, drugs, or food, the brain does not content itself with a kick. It remembers a state of happiness and keeps wanting it to achieve it again and again. Dopamine enables us to make the right decisions in order to experience even more moments of happiness. Dopamine.
Now, a team of researchers in Basel, Switzerland, and published this in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, October 2013. They have discovered a way to use the body's dopamine system therapeutically. The feel-good messenger molecule activates the module depending on the dosage in response to an increase in dopamine level in the blood. The module produces the desired active agent to form a synthetic signaling cascade. So this is just research, but it would, down the road, we would probably benefit from that.
Okay, well, here we go. Alcohol-related violence. Is glassing the big issue? Contrary to public perception, glassing incidents, particularly at licensed venues, constitute a relatively small proportion of all alcohol-related violence. I don't even know what glassing is. Glassing is a colloquial term frequently utilized by the media that refers to a particular type of alcohol-related violence involving assault with a glass implement, typically a drinking glass, like throwing at somebody.
Right. The study reported in Emergency Medicine Australasia, October 2013. The most common glass object involved was a bottle, 75%. However, in licensed venues, there was an even mix of drinking glass and glass bottle. 9% of the alcohol-related assault injuries were a consequence of glassing.
My
so,
goodness.
in other words, it is only 1 in 10. The home was the most common location for alcohol-related violence, 31%, and alcohol-related glassing.
Oh my goodness, that means
2.
even domestic violence is
Yes.
involved in busting somebody in the head with a glass object. That's not good. That's not, all right, we're moving from glassing to something much better. Adding citrus fiber to meatballs improves nutritional quality and does not affect taste. That's what I was thinking. It may not improve taste. American diets fall short of meeting nutritional guidelines, resulting in burgeoning obesity rates and problems across the nation. Doc, the statistics show that most Americans consume only half of the recommended amount of dietary fiber. And now a research team at the University of Missouri is addressing fiber deficit by including citrus fiber in ground beef while retaining the quality and taste of the meat. Who knew, huh?
The health benefits of dietary fiber, mainly found in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, include helping maintain a healthy weight, preventing or relieving constipation, and reducing the risk of diabetes and heart disease. Soluble fiber found mainly in whole grains and some fruits is particularly beneficial for diabetes because fiber slows sugar absorption and improves blood sugar levels.
So that's a lesson for today, because I didn't know that fiber slowed sugar absorption, and also citrus. You know, the first thought is that it would change the taste of the food, so it's good news. And then I was thinking about putting a little lime or lemon zest or orange zest on meat, and it doesn't really affect it that much. Okay, women suffer most from urinary tract infections, but men are more likely to be hospitalized from this condition. While women are far more likely to suffer urinary tract infections, men are more prone to be hospitalized for treatment, according to a study by the Henry Ford Hospital urologist.
The first of its kind study was reported in the World Journal of Urology, October 2013. The study focused on 10 million patients with primary diagnosis of UTI, urinary tract infection. Specifically cystitis or bladder infection, or pyelonephritis or kidney infection, who were seen in the American Hospital Emergency Department from 2006 to 2009. 2 million or 17% were admitted to the hospital for further treatment. The incidence of going to the emergency department with the urinary tract infection was highest among the elderly.
I'm not surprised. The women saw a peak in such cases between age 15 and 25, corresponding to the onset of sexual activity. It was men who were most likely to be admitted for inpatient care. And the things don't add up, but it is what it is.
You know, the men, they need to be admitted there because it's more serious.
Okay.
Yeah, and women, we take care of.
The doc, he knows. All right. We got weighed down by guilt. Research shows that it's more than a metaphor. I'm carrying a heavy load. It's more than a metaphor. A lot of people say they do. They're carrying guilt or weighed down by guilt. Are these just expressions, Doc, or is there something more to these metaphors?
This is very interesting. Princeton researchers published in PLOS ONE, October 2013, the article titled, "The Weight of a Guilty Conscience, Subjective Body Weight Sensation as an Embodiment of Guilt." Embodied cognition is an emerging field in psychology that examines how our thoughts and emotions interact with our bodies to guide behavior. People often say guilt is like a weight on one's conscience, and the researchers examined whether guilt is actually embodied as a sensation of weight.
Well, the study found that this increased sense of weight was related to participants' heightened feelings of guilt and not any other negative emotions such as sadness or disgust. That means guilt is the gift that keeps on giving, right? Okay, we're going to move from guilt to drug use. Yes to one drug could become yes for other drugs. Imagine that. High school seniors who frown upon the use of drugs are most likely to be female non-smokers or hold strong religious beliefs, according to a study.
No surprise.
No surprise there.
Joseph Palmer of the New York University of the study appears online in journal Prevention Science, October 2013. The study examined how teenagers' attitudes towards marijuana influence their thoughts on the further use of other illicit drugs.
Think about that, and everybody's clamoring to legalize.
Yes.
Even in Illinois, medical marijuana, California, Colorado, marijuana use in particular can predict if a person will become partial to using harder and more dangerous drugs such as powder cocaine, crack, LSD, heroin, amphetamine, methamphetamine, ecstasy, also known as Molly. Surprising finding was that a religious disposition robustly increased attitudes against drug use, as it is a major force in societal values.
Yes.
Talking about spirituality.
Robust spirituality.
Yes. Robust, not common or any other thing. Okay.
And so that is now an evidence-based medicine, and so we would.
Well, we're glad we've had this information. We want to thank Science Daily for all the info that they provided. Also, the City of Urbana's UPTV production coordinator, Jason Liggett, our intern, Caleb Serpentis, and the UPTV station manager, Jake Schumacher, as well. We'd like to thank the Chorister Fellowship, Kerala, India, for the music score and the Hallelujah ending. We want to thank you all for watching, and we'll be right back.
I love my husband, but I didn't realize our difficulties had to do with his drinking. Our pastor suggested I go to Al-Anon family groups. I didn't think I would be comfortable, but I decided to try a meeting. The Al-Anon meeting really opened my eyes. Are you troubled by someone's drinking? You might be surprised at what you could learn in an Al-Anon family group meeting from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON.
Compassion Now Network for All, in short, CNN4All, Urbana, Illinois, USA.
And Bethel House of Refuge, Muhammad, Illinois, presents this week's breaking news in wellness and health for all people and all professionals. Howdy. I'm the Pete of Dr. Z and Pete. This is my distinguished co-host, Dr. Alex Rama Zechariah, MD. Doc is a medical professor and CEO of CNN4All International. Oh, we have a more distinguished expert with us today.
More distinguished?
Sorry.
Of course I'm more distinguished than you.
Oh, yeah, Dr. Ross Johan. We're going to have a panel discussion. We'd invite you to listen in to our panel discussion. We're glad to have a more distinguished medical professional here today, and Dr. Ross Johan. So, Doc, I want to just give you a couple little heads up here. Check this out. Grandmothers who raise their grandkids struggle with depression. What do you think about that?
Well, that is an important point, because the grandmothers always enjoy looking after their children. That children can be quite taxing, and if they run out of steam, or they get grandparents tired easily.
Well, that's the truth, and I have 22 grandkids.
Oh, congratulations!
Ooh, I got a new one this week. But I'm going to tell you, when you get a bunch of them together, Grandma, she's been older, she's been working hard all her life, and these are high energy kids. I bet they wear out, and all of a sudden they're all gone. So doesn't loneliness, Doc, have something to do with?
That's you got a very important point. I think that should be looked into by this group.
I think you're right. Listen, we've got a couple other things that we've talked about. What about this? We're talking about guilt. Said conscience is weighed down by guilt. People can actually feel like they've got a load on their shoulders. What do you know about that? They've had a scientific study, I believe.
That is an amazing study. The embodiment, cognitive embodiment. That's a new field called cognitive embodiment. Embodiment means awareness of their body feelings and your awareness of body weight and other aspects of the body and your mental makeup.
Well, what they said was, check this out, Doc. Yeah, you're getting a little close. prayer can help alleviate those feelings of depression, weight, and they can bring a measure of peace to you. What do you think about that?
Are you surprised at that?
Yeah. No, I'm not really surprised. I'm not surprised. You're not surprised.
No. I mean, centuries always we knew that meditation and reading religious books and going over it it's a big relief.
All right, I'm going to move from that to...
No, wait a minute.
Yes.
This is kind of a scientific evidence. This is a controlled, randomized study. So therefore, the doubting Thomases should take good note of it.
Right, that prayer works.
That's
not
right.
Just spiritually, but scientifically.
Scientifically, now they have shown this is evidence-based medicine.
All right, here we go. Happiness lowers blood pressure. That's another aspect of disposition that can affect your feeling of well-being. What do you think? The happy hormone, dopamine, it says, triggers feelings of happiness. I'm sure you know about that.
Oh, yeah, a lot. That's my very important special interest. And so happiness definitely is related to the happiness hormone.
Well, Doc, the good book says a merry heart doeth good like a medicine.
You got it.
Okay,
you got it.
so that's really
so that's very important. Not to be
very
happy
important.
lowers the blood pressure. You got it. That's right.
Very important.
Now,
okay, so a couple other things. There's an appetite hormone that misfires in obese people. Glucagon helps controlling food intake and the feelings of fullness or satiation through signaling the body to reduce levels of other appetite hormones like ghrelin. What? Is that just happen in obese people?
Yeah, the glucagon is a very important hormone like insulin. That in obese people, it can malfunction and it'll interfere with satiety or the feeling of fullness. And that is kind of bad because you keep on eating.
Really?
Uh-huh.
So you inhibit that movement of that when you get bigger?
You talk to me, not to this guy.
Sorry.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the distinguished expert, more distinguished.
Oh, can I at least put in a word? Oh, go ahead. Okay.
Okay, now here's one for Dr. Rema. Dog moods offer insights into owners' health, especially the dogs of older people. What do you know about that?
Yeah,
Doc?
that's a very important aspect. Dog always makes us feel happy.
Yeah.
Do you have a dog? No, I don't. How do you know? Well, I have one, and it makes me happy all the time.
All right. Well, here's what it says. The study, Taking Man's Best Friend, is a scientific study, and now mood and movements of the dog and its barking, etc., is monitored, and it can help to detect early changes in the elderly dog owner. What it means that the dog kind of reflects the attitude and disposition of its owner.
You know what? It's not, it's a very important study because this is probably the first study in the world where they monitored all the activities of the dog. And barking and all the all the affectionate behavior dog has and their movements, and so this is a kind of breakthrough. Why it's kind of breakthrough? Because when these are this can predict the owner's kind of owner's early depression.
Well, that's a good news. My sister has a service dog, and those dogs seem to be hypersensitive to the moods of their, I guess, master. So anyway, these are things we've been discussing this week, Doc. We're glad you're with us. We appreciate your more distinguished expert advice. We hope that you'll be back with us.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure
to
talk to you.
Thanks so much for
you're very good.
Yep, thanks for your insight and yours too, Dr. Rema. We're glad to be here with you. We'd also like to thank the people from Science Daily that have given us a lot of this information. Also, the City of Urbana's UPTV production coordinator, Jason Liggett, the intern from UPTV, Caleb Serpentis, and the UPTV station manager, Jake Schumacher. Thanks so much for your help in getting this production going. Also, we want to thank the Chorister Fellowship, Tiruvala, Kerala, India, for the music score and the Hallelujah ending. We'd like to thank you for being with us. Oh, sorry. I thank you, Doc.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Doc, for being with us. When we're with that, we will really consider inviting you back, and we'll see you next time.